let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer, kicking off the late pick 5 at Gulfstream Park on Saturday afternoon with some stakes action. Let's throw up the field for race number 7. It's the $75,000 Limehouse Stakes. 3-year-olds going 6 furlongs, fairly wide open on the morning line. Your 5-2 morning line favorite is the 4, Drain the Clock, going out for Safi Joseph, and nothing went right for this horse in the Jean Lafitte. I think the jockey's boot broke, and then the iron broke, and everything went wrong. The prior 2 starts were pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, certainly has a big excuse. The last time we saw him, Dan, his first 2 races were good. I don't, know that I saw him being some kind of, clear-cut favorite in this race, but he could certainly win.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector, because as we see with a lot of times with these very young 3-year-olds, they're all very fast, and maybe we'll have a barbecue. It's a red bar situation from Timeform US. Fast pace is expected. Warrior's Pride has been on the lead in his last 3 races. Tiger gets blinkers once again. He's a pretty fast horse. Willie Boy went gate to wire in his debut. This pace is going to be solid.
I won't disagree with the fact that the pace could be solid. I don't know who's going to be up there. Maybe it will be some of these horses that Timeform US thinks will be up there, but I can certainly see it being a competitive pace.
Number 1 is New Year's Block Party. This is a 2-time winner, and I think his form's really interesting. The second lifetime start in the Tyro, the first stake dash, his 2 prior stakes races, he caught wet tracks. Personally, I don't think he's as effective on a wet track as he is on dry. And last time out, he really was a handful behind the gate, and then he was put on a hard chase against Jackson Traveler, who's undefeated and a very talented sprinter.
Yeah, I kind of look at this horse the same way it sounds like you do, Dan. I just feel like he's the kind of horse who could really get lost in the wagering here and go off at some kind of really big price. And I don't think he's in over his head by any stretch of the imagination here.
Paco Lopez takes the mount for Anthony Pecoraro. Jackson Traveler came back to win the Maryland Juvenile Futurity with a 73 buyer. The horse with all the pedigree and perhaps all the upside potential is the number 2 Highway Bound. Let's watch his second lifetime start and his maiden win over Sloppy Going for trainer Bill Mott. Now, this horse had trouble in his debut against a very, 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 very tough field. And then second time out, showed more speed, more maturity. And again, this horse has a beautiful, beautiful pedigree.
Right. I don't know, this was on a sloppy track. I don't know that I necessarily feel like it's the surface that moved him up, Dan. He just feels to me like a horse who maybe really needed that first start. It was against a very good field, and he didn't break well in there. He also just didn't do any running at all. It almost looked like he just, wasn't interested at all that day. He was much more interested last time. He broke much more sharply from the gate. He was confidently ridden all the way around there. You could see in the stretch, they're basically ridden out at the end. This horse took a huge step forward last time.
It was maybe the addition of blinkers. It was maybe the second time out angle from Mott, but he seems to be working really well as he leads up to this race. We haven't seen him since that start on October the 30th. Warrior's Pride has won 2 in a row. His confidence should be sky high. He has not been headed in any of those races, including this performance earlier in the Gulfstream meet on December the 4th, when he showed this field his heels from the start. He turns into the stretch, and he keeps on going. And the buyer speed figures from his last 2 races, 75 and 80, put him in very good stead against these.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, we'll see if he can back it up here in what I feel like is a much tougher race. But in this race that we're watching right here, and that's Tiger, the 5 there, who was the favorite, who just couldn't get anywhere near this horse. I mean, this horse got loose right from the start. He never gave that field a chance.
Here's your morning line favorite, the 4 Drain the Clock, won his first 2 lifetime starts, including this effort at Gulfstream West in October, where he earned a very respectable 70 buyer speed figure. Here's Drain the Clock on the outside. And what I liked about this performance was not only the fast race and the fact that he got it done, but he's had a little bit of fight in him. He had to work hard, and he also showed the ability to sit off horses, something that could be very valuable on Saturday.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if he's able to track a pace in this race, that could really work to his advantage in here. I don't really have any knocks, Dan, on his first 2 career starts, which are both wins. I mean, I do feel like he's going to have to improve to beat this field, and he is the morning line favorite, which doesn't thrill me, but I didn't really see him being the favorite at post time.
Now, Tiger ran a very fast race at 5 furlongs over the summer. He has not gone back to that race yet in 3 subsequent starts, twice being the beaten favorite, losing to Drain the Clock 2 starts back, losing to Warrior's Pride last time out. And again, I'm not sure his running style really works for this race if you believe the pace is going to be fast. I wonder if he's a little bit exposed.
Yeah, I feel that way about him too, and especially they put him, right up there near the lead on the pace projector. I mean, he couldn't get anywhere near Warrior's Pride on the lead last time. He just didn't have enough speed to get there. I don't know. Maybe the blinkers will make a difference.
If the pace is hot, it could really help out the 6, Runway Magic, who's turning back in distance following 3/7/8 of a mile efforts at Churchill Downs. And his last race I thought was a likable performance. I questioned the buyer a little bit in 81, and I kind of questioned the field he was up against. He got a very nice pace setup, but he went around him and he went about his business, and it looks like there's a run-happy colt that can run.
Yeah, I think we look at this horse the same way. This horse actually has a really nice pedigree. The run happies, obviously, they didn't get off to a great start, but it's too early to give up on those horses. I mean, this horse, I thought he won very impressively last time, just basically sitting out 4 wide around the track and then running past the leaders. And, I would just say go back and watch his second career start as well if you're wondering where that race came from, because he ran great in his second start. He had an impossible trip and was probably best that day.
And again, he should get the right setup here. 3/4 of a mile. I don't think it's going to be too sharp for this horse, given a good pace. Willie Boy is likely to be part of the pace. He was in his career debut. Let's watch that race at Gulfstream Park on December the 10th. He was dismissed at 7.5 to 1, and he showed good speed. He shrugged off his primary pace pursuer on the turn. He keeps on going, and he's just going to hold sway under the line. Solid enough 67 buyer, and maybe he can park off the speeds. I think it's a little bit of an advantage that he's outside the other main pace forces.
Yeah, that's true. He ran fine in this race. Obviously, in a much tougher spot here. I'm going to have to deal with much stronger and probably more quality speed as well, but he's going to be a price.
Ocean Ride, the number 8's a little bit underrated, perhaps, and might go off a nice price in here. Son of Candy Ride, a debut winner. Let's watch that race at Gulfstream West on November the 28th. He had to overcome breaking from the inside post, and now he's in a battle, turning into the stretch down on the inside. You see him paddling with that left 4, but he keeps right on going with a 67 speed figure. He draws outside with tactical speed, and you got to respect these connections.
Yeah, I like this horse's debut. He broke from the rail in this spot. He did not break well from the gate at all. But once he saw some daylight up the inside, he rushed right up there to contest the pace, put his rival away, kept going. I thought this horse ran well first time out.
Top pick time for the Limehouse Stakes. We both see it the same way. We both think the pace is going to be fast. We both like Runway Magic's maiden win at Churchill for Rusty, and that's where we're going to go.
Yeah, I like his last 2 races, and I think he fits really well in this race. I'm not against Highway Bound, Dan. I feel like that horse took a real step forward in his second start, and I won't be surprised if he backs it up.
It'll be very interesting to see how they bet the race. Will they bet Highway Bound for Mott and Godolphin and the connections off of that impressive win? Will they bet Runway Magic off the Fig? Will they bet Drain the Clock off his 2 impressive wins to start his career? 6-2-8-4 for Mike, 6-4-3-1 for me. It's the Limehouse, and it kicks off the late pick 5 at Gulfstream on Saturday. Good luck.